This one is gonna get a little weird, so I'm gonna try to break it down in the most simplest way. Could you marry your own daughter? I can only assume your answer is no. Right? Right? Well, not if your name is Stephen Pladl. So the year is 1995. This man's name is Stephen Pladl. He's a chill, good-looking 21-year-old guy. He spends most of his day on the internet, and I mean it's fairly new and everyone is on there. One day he meets and starts to flirt with Alyssa on the internet, and he thought she was pretty as f***. They spoke for a while and he decided to travel all the way from New York to San Antonio to meet with Alyssa. Keep in mind, Alyssa is 15. I said 15, so that makes Stephen a PDF file. Stephen and Alyssa were so in love, they ran away together. A year later at 16, Alyssa fell pregnant. I don't know what was happening in the late 90s, but I bet this was very weird for anyone watching it unfold. So the two stayed together. But Stephen was a disturbed youth, and it showed in his behavior towards Alyssa. 9 months later, Alyssa and Stephen welcomed a bouncing baby girl, Denise. For some weird reason that only Steve can justify, he didn't like this baby. He would pinch her until she turned blue, and would do it repeatedly to an extent of the baby having bad scars on her back. This made the 17-year-old Alyssa very mad, and she was so young. She gave her baby up for adoption because she didn't think Denise would have a good quality of life with this abusive monster around. The thing that still baffles me is that she stayed with the abuser but gave her baby away, while she should have left with the baby. Anyway, Denise got adopted by a loving couple who did the best to raise the bouncing little girl. Fast forward to 2016. Denise is a young woman now. She just turned 18, graduated from high school, even planning to go to college. But there is something missing. She feels like she needs to reunite with her biological parents. She knows she was adopted, and this has always left her with so many questions. She tells her foster parents that she wants to meet her biological parents. Obviously, they are not for the idea, but they can't stop her from meeting them. In August 2016, Denise reaches out to Stephen and Alyssa via Facebook. They meet, and she feels like she wants to connect more with them, and they allow her to move in with them in North Carolina. She is finally going to know her real parents. She meets her two siblings, and finally, she feels like she will fill in that void she has always felt like she has. Denise didn't know that Alyssa and Stephen were in the midst of separation, so it's not nice in the house. There is constant arguments and fights. Stephen and Alyssa don't even sleep in the same rooms anymore, although it's very chaotic in the house. Stephen always makes time for Denise. They talk all the time up until the late hours of the night when everyone is sleeping. They are really, really bonding. Stephen gets very close with Denise, so close that it starts to get weird. This bothers Alyssa. She doesn't know what to make of it. One day, as she cleans in one of the siblings' rooms, she reads through the siblings' journal, and she learns that Stephen and Denise are in a sexual relationship, and that she is pregnant. At the time, Stephen must have been 40. The age is not even the most shocking thing. This psycho is sleeping with his own daughter and got her pregnant. This man got her own daughter pregnant. Alyssa confronts Stephen, and he tells her that Denise is an adult and can make her own decisions. Alyssa reports Stephen to the police, but Denise and Stephen have long left by now. They are staying together in Maryland. In 2017, Denise and Stephen got married. They lie on their marriage documents that they are not related. For some weird reason, the marriage was attended by Stephen's parents and Denise's foster parents, and they didn't try to stop this from happening. In late 2017, Denise gave birth to their baby. We are just gonna call him Baby. And what followed after Baby was born is horrendous. So in early 2018, Denise and Stephen were arrested on incest charges. They got extradited back to Virginia to face trial. Stephen's lawyer's argument to support the relationship was so weird. So he maintained that Denise was an 18-year-old woman who can make her own decisions, and the love Stephen had for her transcends the fact that the two are related, and the court should pardon them. The judge called bullshit, and he declared their marriage null and void. He ordered that Stephen and Denise should not contact one another, and that custody of baby will go to Stephen's mother in North Carolina. Following their release, Denise called Stephen and told him he no longer wants to continue their relationship and that she will be moving back in with her foster parents. This didn't sit well with Stephen. He got really mad. I can only assume the anger he always had over Denise when she was a child returned, and what he did next. Horrifying. Stephen murdered baby who was just 7 months and hid his body in a closet. He then got his assault rifle and traveled from New York to Connecticut, where Denise was staying with her foster parents. Denise and his foster father were visiting her foster grandparents' house to clean. He followed them. Once they stopped at the intersection of Route 7 and Route 55, Stephen stuck the rifle out the window and pulled that trigger. Bystanders reported shots being fired in New Milford, and police discovered Denise and Anthony's bodies in their car, unalived. A horrific scene. He then called his mother and told her that he had murdered Denise, her foster father, and baby. He stated that she shouldn't go into the house and encouraged her to call the police. He explained that a key was left under the mat for easier entry. Stephen was found dead via a self-inflicted gunshot wound inside his van in Dover, 18 miles from the shooting site. His mother called police, who found baby dead in Stephen's home. Thanks for watching. Please like and sub.